Hey YouTubers, this is Alex from Brand New Productions, and today I will be giving you my review on Star Wars: A Rogue One Story. Okay, so this is a non-spoilers review, so I'm going to do my best not to get into spoiler territory. I'm going to tell you my pros and cons of the movie, and I'm going to give you a little history of where this movie fits in the Star Wars universe. So, let's get into it. Okay, just to give you some background about where this movie fits in, if you're a Star Wars fan, you will already know, but for the non-Star Wars fan, if you've seen episode 1 through 3 or episodes 1 through 6, this movie takes place in between Star Wars Episode 3 and Episode 4. This is basically what happens to what basically sets up the events of Episodes 4, 5, and 6. So now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about the pros and cons of this movie. Okay, so the pros of this movie, what I thought was really awesome, and I'm just going to say it without spoiling anything, the Star Wars battles, oh my god, like there was a actual Star Wars galactical battle in this movie. You get to see the X-Wings fight all the other Emperor ships, and it's freaking awesome. Like, I've never seen that in a Star Wars film. Well, I've seen it in the other Star Wars films, but not of this magnitude, and it was just, in my personal opinion, I think it's the best Star Wars galactical fight ever. So when you see this movie, it's gonna blow your mind of how well they handle the special effects when you see the X-Wings tackle all those evil ships, and it's awesome. I'm blown away by it every time I think about it. So that will be my number one pro of this particular movie. My next pro is that I love my favorite character in this movie was K2SO. K2SO is freaking hilarious in this movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but he is awesome. When you watch him on screen, he is literally his own droid. Even though he's a droid, he's like that best friend you always had who always tells the truth. Like, that guy is freaking awesome. I wanted to buy a K2S toy right after I left the film because he's awesome. The way the director handled him in the movie was awesome. He's obviously a supporting character. I think he was the standout in the whole movie, even though I don't think you see enough of him in the movie, but I think he was freaking awesome. K2SO is my favorite droid. I think he's better than R2-D2, BB-8. I think he is the best droid ever, and I'm telling you, at the end of this video, I might just buy me a K2SO toy. So that would be my next pro. My third pro of this movie, I really enjoyed how they handled the rebels and the Empire. You can tell that there's conflicting ideologies of how to deal with this, with the Empire from the rebel side, and there's conflicting ideologies of how to deal with the rebels on the Empire side. Like, you can see that this is more of an adult realism film. You can see that there is a conflict between the rebels and there's a conflict between the Empire about how they should deal with building the Death Star and how they should use the Death Star. And again, I don't want to get into too many spoilers. I don't want to get into any spoilers, but when you watch Star Wars, this is more of an adult Star Wars film. It's not a it's not like any other Star Wars film where it's kind of somewhat kid friendly, but it is a really good adult version of Star Wars where you can see the conflicts within each group. So there's a lot of gray areas, not black and white, but there's a lot of gray area in between what's right and what's wrong. So I really enjoyed how they played upon that. My final pro of this movie, I loved how the director dealt with the characters. I really enjoyed how Jyn Erso's, I think I'm saying her name right, its mission is to basically take down or to get those plans to the Death Star so they can use that to their advantage, and why she does it. I love the relationship between her and her father, and I love the motivation, what drives her. Again, I think that all the supporting characters within Rogue One were freaking awesome. There was a realism to them, and I enjoyed how they played upon one another. And I can honestly say this is probably in my personal opinion, one of the best interpretations of a Star Wars film for my particular generation. Again, I love the film. It was everything that I thought a Star Wars film should be. So I really did enjoy it. Okay, con number one. Let me just be honest. Even though it's in between episode 3 and episode 4, I did not really think all the characters were memorable. Other than K2SO, all the other characters were not that memorable to me. There are some parts in the movie where I did kind of felt bored and not really know what was going on. I'm not really a huge Star Wars fan, but I've seen all the movies and I think I know what's going on, but still there's some parts where I'm a little bit confused on, where I felt like they didn't elaborate on. So there are some things, if you're not really hip to the Star Wars genre, you're not gonna really know what's going on. So that would be my number one. My next con for this movie is that I wish they could have used Mads Mikkelsen's character a little bit more. Every time he was on screen, he was freaking awesome. I just wish that they used more of his character enough. We only see him in certain parts of the film, but I did really enjoy it, but I just wish we could have seen more of him. I think it would have added a little bit more to the story, and we would have gotten a little bit more understanding of why he's doing what he's doing. But and yeah, that would be my next con. Overall, I don't really have that many cons for the film because I really did enjoy the film. I think this is one of the best Star Wars films that fits right into the trilogy. If I had to rate this movie, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's a must-see movie. It's a movie that you can take your kids to. It's a movie that you can take your family and friends to. I would recommend that you go see it. It is out now in many theaters, so I would definitely go on AMC or Fandango.com to go book your tickets now to go see it. I would recommend everybody to go see it in IMAX, okay? Go see that movie in IMAX. Overall, I give the movie a 9 out of 10. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, you can follow me on YouTube at Brand New Productions, and you can also follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Brand New Productions. You see my Facebook page there. You can follow me on Twitter at TheArsenal116. You can also follow me on Instagram from static_145. This is Alex from Brand New Productions, and thank you so much for watching my review of Star Wars Rogue One.